All right, Josh. So, elevator pitch.
So for us at 3G Golf, just a little kind of background info. We are open now 9 months. We opened back in June. Um, Family-owned business. Kind of came up with the idea during the middle of lockdown when we're stuck at home, and just kind of everyone's getting creative at that point, just thinking of things to keep them from driving crazy. Um, and so the point of 3G Golf really is we have three golf simulators, which have kind of become pretty popular over the last couple of years as golf has grown a little bit more, especially to younger ages. So on these simulators, it's almost kind of like it's a virtual machine in which you can play the majority of courses in the world. You can go to the driving range, do little target practice, things like that. So it's a place to kind of work on your swing. You can play full courses, and it's an indoor facility, obviously, which is kind of based on the cold weather in New Jersey when weather gets cold and you need something to do, as we've seen with the last couple snowstorms. So it's to summarize, it's basically indoor golfing. It's kind of a top golf type theme, a little driving range type theme, things like that. Um, but we're BYOB. We have TVs. It's a place to kind of, if you're a serious golfer, you can do that. If you're a more casual golfer, or if you're just looking for something to do on a cold winter night, it's kind of flexible for the customer. It's pretty customer friendly. That's the blueprint and the model for us. And being a family that's lived here for I think my parents have been here 34 years. I want to say. Me and my brothers, we graduated from here, like the high school here, live a couple blocks away. So it's kind of to be a part of the community, run a business, things like that is something that we've all kind of wanted. We didn't know how it was going to work out, and we kind of put together this idea, and it's been good so far, and enjoying every second of it.
Nice. It's really awesome. I mean, I went there a couple weeks ago with my family, and we had a blast. I was talking to your dad, and he was telling me that you guys just started up over COVID, and I don't know. He started telling me the story, and then I stopped him, and I asked if he would do an interview, and then he told me that you were running social media, and that's how it started. So I'm
Yeah,
excited to ask you
absolutely.
questions about that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, yeah, during COVID, you decided to open. What was your crystallization point? Like, what was the bug that got you started?
So it's actually kind of a funny story. About I guess 3 weeks prior to lockdown, my dad was relocated to St. Petersburg, Florida for work, and my mom went down there with him. They had a little apartment, and it's not the worst place to be in the middle of February. But um, so a couple weeks later, airports shut down, travel shuts down, restrictions are placed everywhere, and it was me and my older brother were home at this point. My oldest brother lives in Hoboken, so for almost a year, my parents weren't home. So kind of the heart of this, lockdown, this craze, what nobody has any idea what this virus is, what's going on at this point. And, I was a sophomore in college. Like I was just kind of a 19-year-old who didn't know much about the virus. And all I knew is that I had to start doing laundry and cooking meals for myself. Um, but so we were, have a lot of time on our hands, and we're pretty bored at this point. We're begging my dad, say, hey, can we get a golf simulator for the house? And it was just a pipe dream at this point. And he's like, if we're going to get a golf simulator, the house is going to be packed. Everyone's just going to come play. Like, might as well try to make some money off of it. So that's kind of how it just started. And from there, it segued into, if we're going to get one, let's get two. And then let's turn it into a business, or what can we add on top of it? So it was kind of almost a joke as to how it started. And again, it was, I think back of COVID, of just how bored we were. Um, and just tired of watching the news, and it kind of struck us to say, hey, let's try to get one of these things and just give us something to do every day. And that's honestly how it kind of turned into this business idea.
That's brilliant. It started off of a joke, and then you saw that there was profitability, or well, there's potential. I mean, in your area, who else is there?
Yeah, so I think there's one in Wall, and then I want to say Homedale is the other one. But again, that's pretty far away. And there's a lot of golfers in our town, our kind of little area, that it's just kind of worked out nicely for us.
I think Wall's the closest one, And then to me, I'm in the southern part of Monmouth County, so you're my closest, and it
Yeah.
honestly is a blast to go there. And then Dad's wisdom with the profitability.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, how long was that process though? From initial, let's get one to turn it into a business.
So thinking back in time, it was probably about, we started like looking at actual places to rent kind of, it was right around November, kind of Thanksgiving, of that following year. So I guess the end of, or yeah, end of 2020, November 2020. My dates might be wrong. Everything's time's kind of a blur at this point, um, yeah. So I think it was November 2020 when we first kind of started looking into it, and then just getting in touch with different people in town that kind of helped us along with that process, who simply just knew more than us about it. And kind of put it together as the winter months went on, and then by we opened our doors in June, but we started our lease in May. Just our first month was just kind of getting the place ready. But yeah, it was a lot of planning went into it. If anytime you start a business, especially during that kind of time period of COVID and restrictions, not a lot of places were there was a lot of obstacles in trying to get that together. So everything kind of had to be planned the right way, and make sure that we weren't overlooking
Yeah,
anything.
absolutely. I mean, that's a huge gamble to begin with. But then as COVID and the timetables that you're talking about, a lot of places were going under or just giving up the ghost.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
the fact that you guys had the wherewithal to run that gamble is amazing. I don't know. I commend you for that. It really is fascinating how you did that. And then it's what?
Yeah. Everything takes, you got to have a little bit of luck too.
Yeah, a little bit of
Definitely,
luck,
definitely a
a
little
lot of
bit
bit of risk, and a little bit of strength. So it's a family thing.
Yep. So it's all family. Actually, the name
Mm-hmm.
3G, kind of a the story is kind of complicated, but it's what it comes down to is, on my dad's side of the family, the Yates family. It's been, I think, like 6 or 7 generations in a row that there's been 3 boys in the family. And I'm the youngest of 3 boys as well, so that tradition has just kind of continued. So 3G kind of stands for 3 guys.
I see.
Also, people get sometimes confused saying 3D golf, 3G. So it just, G starts with golf, whatever you kind of want to go with, whatever story you like the most. But it's all kind of family centered. We do have 3 people working for us now, kind of family friends, who have done a great job for us, especially over the last couple months as we've been busier. They've been awesome. Their support has been great, and kind of have become masters of the store. And so it's a family centered thing, but we've kind of branched out a little bit for more help as we go.
How long did it take you from, you said you opened in June, to actually busy, comfortable, knowing that this is going to work?
So we opened in June. I think it was June 4th, I want to say. And the initial support from the town and the community was so incredible. Just kind of this whole small town thing. And like I said, we've lived here for forever. We had so many close friends and family members coming in and spreading the news about our store, and even just the businesses around us on Arnold Ave. That putting up business cards and flyers, things like that. That's kind of part of why we wanted to do this whole thing, is just how great this community is and how much it means to us. I'm 22, and I don't really know anything other than this place. And it's very special to me. It's very special to my family. So that's kind of what got us through the summer, the June first couple weeks, July, things like that. And then just the Point Beach tourist factor. So many people walking in and being like, "What is this place?" Like, just kind of confused, and then they come in, take some swings. And so the summer was kind of better than we thought at first. We said, people are going to be out on courses playing golf. It's summer. It's nice out. But having that support initially, those first few weeks, from family, friends, just the small town thing, people helping us out was so great. And that kind of segued into the Labor Day Seafood Fest, which was, our biggest day up until that point.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
To get to there. Yeah. And then from there, end of September, weather starts getting a little colder, and we've just kind of taken off from there. So it's the summer we needed a little, just like any business, you don't know, you literally have no idea what to expect. You have kind of benchmarks in your head that you want to say, oh, well, if we get this, that'd be great. Or what do we do if this happens? And that initial support from the community is really kind of what got us going, which is, we're incredibly thankful for.
That community that you build around you is important.
Yeah.
You're right. You are competing with the golf courses during the summer, but I could tell you that being out there all summer through COVID, even last year, booking tee times is mayhem. There's so many new golfers now.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, there were some days, especially, my father, if you have a heart condition, if you're older, indoor is way better than 90 degrees, 100% humidity. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, you don't lose any balls in the woods either.
That's true. I do save money that way. And then why golf?
So, golf, my two older brothers and my dad are very into golf. Okay. I've just kind of recently started getting into it over the last couple of years. I'm still not very good, so don't ask me what I shoot.
Triple digits over here.
But it's, I think, like you mentioned before, how many people have gotten into golf and how popular it's become. I think there's a new generation that's really gotten into it. And I think credit to the lockdown a bit, golf was really the only sport that you could actually play, because golf is literally distanced. That's just the basis of it. So there was tournaments on TV when, there's no fans there or anything like that, but they're still kind of playing that. I think people, again, kind of driving themselves crazy inside, kind of got interested in it. It was something to do. You could start almost going out to courses pretty early. So it became so popular, and it's we're a family that's been involved in golf. Again, older brothers and my dad have been very into it over the last few years. So it just kind of made sense. And and like any business, you want it to be something that you enjoy to do. So as frustrated as I get when I'm playing, I still do love it. So if you don't enjoy it, can be harder to succeed. And the bad days where maybe you're not as busy, become harder, because if you're not in there, enjoying what you're doing or talking to customers about what you enjoy, then it makes it more difficult for sure.
Yeah, I could definitely see golf and small business or business owner or entrepreneur, because in golf, you're always trying to best yourself. Same thing in business. It's kind of the same mentality. I mean, now you're going to school full time still?
Yeah, so I'm actually a senior at Monmouth University right now. So
awesome.
We'll graduate. I think it's May 7th is when I'll be done.
All right. Well, early congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And then education?
Yep, education. So I am currently student teaching at Point Beach High School, which is 2 blocks from 3G and 3 blocks from my house. So it's very nice for the commute.
So school full time, student teaching, and your own business.
Yeah.
Do you have time for yourself?
I do. Actually, on top of that, I coach football for the high school, as well as baseball, which starts up next week. So I help out as an assistant coach for the varsity teams there. And honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way. I don't like sitting around. I don't like being bored. I'd rather be busy than bored. Just kind of how I am.
That's how everybody should be.
And it's just,
yeah, that's how everybody should be. That's the hustle. That's amazing. You have that fire. I could see it. Coaching, full-time job, student teaching, your own business. What are the prospects for you in the future?
I don't know. That remains to be told. Just you kind of got to, I don't want to be corny, but you kind of just got to take it day by day. Any opportunity that comes, you just make the most of it. I've been fortunate. I turned 22 last month, and I've been able to.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I've been able to kind of, put myself on a path that, I love. Every day, like I love going into the school for student teaching. I love coaching every single day. The business has been a blessing. So it's, again, not to be corny, you want to do what you love. You want to take everything day by day. So that's kind of my mentality right now. And, you never know what the future holds, but I'm looking forward to it.
Fair enough. On that note, who's your inspiration then?
Inspiration? I tend to, honestly, I would say we're a very close family. I would say my older brothers are definitely huge inspirations of mine. They've found a lot of success in their individual careers so far, and they've kind of always done it the right way, or at least to the best of their ability. So I look up to them a lot. My dad as well. The things that he's overcome, he's been through, and the way he raised us. It's been very, very easy to look up to. Same thing with my mom. My mom's actually works the most in our store by far. So she does.
That's usually how moms are.
Yeah, so she does a lot of the behind the scenes work, and sometimes she doesn't get as much credit as she deserves. But I'd say definitely, my family overall, and that extends. Both my mom and dad are from large Irish families. Grandparents for sure have been a huge support. Uncles, cousins, everything. It's a very family oriented thing. So I kind of lean on them a lot for support, for a lot of kind of big decisions, as well as even kind of the guys that I coach with. Actually, two of my coaches that I coach with in high school football are actually my cooperating teachers in the high school for my student teaching, and that's Mike McGee and Mike Pelican. They've been kind of with me every step of the way. I've learned a lot from them, and they've been awesome. So a lot of role models, a lot of people to kind of look up to. I tend to look at sports a lot in my life, guys like Tom Brady, LeBron James, things like that. So I kind of try to take a little piece from everyone, and make it my own in my own way. Learn from them. I'm a big I ask a lot of questions. Sometimes probably can be annoying, especially you ask my cooperating teachers. I'm kind of always trying to find advice, find the right way to do things. So
No, that's good.
I know I just gave you a long list, a lot of answers there for inspiration, but that's kind of how I am. I kind of want to take a little piece from everyone and build from there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, you should take inspiration from everywhere.
Yeah, that's I think that's what you got to do, again, day by day. Just try to make yourself a better person, and you know there's people who are smarter than you and people who know more than you, and people have done things that you want to do. So that's kind of what I kind of view as people to look to.
Yeah, I would say I don't think, well, we're probably coming up to another generation of trailblazers with people like Elon Musk, but for the most part, pretty much everything that everybody's doing has been done already, at least some degree. So you can get advice, even if you were the first golf sim place ever to open. It's a rental retail space. There's advice out there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There's, like I said, there's a lot of people out there that know a lot more than me. So there's no shame in looking to that and taking ideas, stealing ideas, if you will.
Listen,
just
we
trying to
learn
go
by
from there.
mimicking, and it's not stealing. I mean, plagiarism is one thing, but it's not stealing. You borrow. That's the highest compliment.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
actually, there's a good book. I don't know
yeah,
if you've read it. Steal Like
exactly.
an Artist. It's a short read.
Okay,
It's a short read. But
yeah, yeah, that's
well, tell me
perfect.
about the social media aspect. What do you do on it?
So social media, we have Instagram and Facebook, which I tend to be more up to date with Instagram just
Yep.
because that's kind of more my generation, and it's a place where we can kind of just post if we're having a competition or a tournament, things like that, new retail items in. That's what we kind of use it for, and we like to interact on there. Just again kind of be a part of the community, use that as an opportunity to get people more engaged with us and be more engaged with other businesses. If another business is doing some discount or some sale, then we want to give them a shout out, and they'll do the same for us. It's just kind of a way to keep up to date with the community, and as golf has gotten more popular, so is social media. So it's a way to just kind of keep spreading word about our business.
Yeah, you kind of tied that back to a previous point. Close knit relationships. Other businesses, you tie them into your own social media.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's a good thing to think about.
Yeah,
A lot of people are like, oh, well, there's competition in the area. There's other businesses. I'm going to think about my own stuff. No, you got to think about everybody.
yeah. That's kind of the Point Beach motto there. It's the few, the proud, the beach, and everyone's kind of in it together.
Well, yeah, especially tourist town in the summertime. You
Yeah,
might as well walk around there. There's no cars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So how is it in the wintertime?
In terms of business wise, the winter is has been crazy busy for us.
That's a plus.
It's weekends were basically have been fully booked, dating back to almost Thanksgiving, just because you can't play outside. It's just miserably cold. But you know, Point Beach is tends to be very quiet. In the winter, some people even describe it as a ghost town, compared to the summer. Just because people aren't at the beach at the boardwalk just because it's too cold. But that was kind of part of the model in saying that, especially in this town, sometimes people are looking for something to do in the winter when it's dark at 4:30. And you ran out of Netflix shows to watch, and you kind of want something to do. Um, so the winter has treated us very well. Business aside, I'm looking forward to kind of the warmer days. I've moved on from the cold at this point,
I think we all have.
but for business wise, winter, the cold weather has been great for us, even rainy days, things like that. But I think we're all kind of getting excited for, as sometimes a tourist can be frustrating.
Oh, of course.
But I think we're all looking forward to seeing them back pretty soon.
I think it's frustrating because it's a lot of work. It's like there's no break until it's off season, and you just get pummeled the entire way through. I've seen it. I've been there. I worked retail. I worked around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my heart goes out to everybody that deals with that. It's a great thing, but it comes with its disadvantage and gray hair.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, well, let me ask you about the family because you're a social media manager. You're working there. You were instrumental in conception and everything else. What about your brothers and dad and mom? You went over mom a little bit.
Yeah. So kind of day to day stuff. Our mom, she is essential to what we do. She's worked in retail for, I want to say it was 5 or 6 years, kind of on Arnold Ave.
Okay.
And she has a lot of experience with that. So she's kind of there a lot of weekdays. That's kind of her role. She's very good with retail. She sets up kind of that whole operation. And then my oldest brother is living in Hoboken. He's a pharmaceutical sales rep. So he's kind of back and forth on weekends, things like that. He's very connected with TrackMan, who's like kind of our software system. So he's because he's not here as much, he's doing a lot of big picture stuff.
Gotcha.
And then when he comes home on weekends, he definitely handles a ton of time in the store. And same thing with my middle brother. He's a venture capitalist, so he's working. He works on kind of West Coast time too, so he has a lot of very long days. And he's very good with our tech and kind of any sort of laptop issues, software issues. He's kind of all over it. And the two of them again are much smarter than I am, so I tend to go to them for a lot of stuff. And they both weekends especially is when they can do a lot of their work.
Yep.
In the store, because they're working 5 days a week every day. And then my dad is kind of, we call him the ops guy, kind of joking. But he again has a full-time career. He's the president of Trinity Seafood for Cisco Foods. And he's kind of the fixer almost. Anything that's going wrong, he's kind of in charge of that. He runs our books. He's very good at that, very skilled, has a ton of experience in business. And that's kind of just, again, the fixer is what we call him, because he's just very good at that. He's very good at making sure everything's going the right way. And any problems, we kind of, go to him for advice just because of the experience that he has. So, and
absolutely
same thing, weekends, we kind of, like I said, we have 3 people kind of on our staff now that have filled in nicely into their roles and their specific hours, and they've been so good for us. And then the family, we kind of fill in the rest of the pieces there. Again, my mom handles a lot of the hours, kind of the weekday, day-to-day thing, and the rest of us, when we have time outside of our our jobs, our coaching, whatever it may be, that's kind of when we fill in the rest of the hours from there.
I mean, really what I'm trying to hammer home is everybody's got a career. Everybody has more than one thing to do. Everybody's keeping busy. I've noticed this with people like yourself, hyper conscientious, hyper smart. They get into something and, like you said it, but I think you don't give yourself enough credit. I think you're incredibly smart. I think I really do.
Thank you.
Your ability to multitask and do everything that you're doing, keep track of it. Yeah, you might be a stressed out college student still, but I don't know. You're way ahead of where I was in college. I'll tell you that. And then learning or having enough trust and family, friends to lean on them. It's delegation of responsibilities. It's having a trust network that you can really depend on. It's having an idea that you believe in. You're kind of setting it up with all the cliches of what people need to be to succeed. And look at that. It works so far.
So far, so good.
Well, God bless. Good luck. I think you guys are going to do good. Talking to your dad, it sounds like, and talking to you right now, it sounds like business is doing really good. I'm excited. I'm going to check in on you guys all the time, as long as you'll have me.
Yeah, of course, whenever you want. Door's always open.
I'm intrigued. I want to check in with you guys. I want to see how you grow.
Yeah.
Do you have expansion ideas? Where does it go from here?
Again, I don't want to jinx anything.
Nope, don't do that. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think, again, kind of just taking it day by day. A dream would be, if we could open more, that would be incredible. But, that's not necessarily the goal. That's not necessarily the purpose of it. The purpose was Point Beach and making this store the best it could be. And if that leads to other opportunities and the family, can, has the time to do it, and it's remains a enjoyable experience, then yeah, you never say never. But at this point, it's all about kind of the business itself and making sure that they're still enjoying it, and making sure it's kind of done the right way. You don't want to ruin something by overextending yourselves or hurting the brand. So that's, again, just kind of, if it feels right, then sure. But as of now, we're still just kind of focusing on the one, and we'll go from there.
There you go. A little bit more wisdom that you seem a little too young to have. I don't know. No, it's brilliant. Did you come to like that kind of idea, that kind of perspective on your own?
Yeah. Well, it's me and my brothers are very close.
Yeah.
We have a group chat that we text in every day about anything, random stuff. But we've all kind of shared that overall message. That we'll go where it takes us, but don't need to make it a bad thing by doing too much.
Be grateful for what you have and don't blindly chase opportunity, but accept what comes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Anything that you want to tell me that's important?
Honestly, no, man. I just want to thank you for having me on. This was very cool. This is the second podcast I've done. I'm still kind of getting used to the whole thing, but it's been great. I appreciate you doing this for our business. I'm sure it will help, and I'm very grateful to have met you and be a part of this.
It's an absolute pleasure. Like I said.
Yeah, awesome, definitely. And also, actually, kind of specifically, we're doing a fundraiser in the middle of March. I didn't necessarily know if I wanted to say this on kind of air yet, but
you can if you want. I'll include it.
It's a fundraiser for the police department in town. So we did one for the fire department, did one for the Point Beach wrestling team, and then we are going to do one for the police department. So if you were saying you wanted to maybe stop in, if we could do something like that, I think that'd be really cool on one night when we're doing a fundraiser. I think that could be a cool opportunity. And I can pass along more details. Kind of, we're still putting together flyers and all that stuff as we get going. So that's why I didn't want to necessarily say it on air.
No, that's fine.
Because it's not. I'd say it's 99%. Dates are right and everything like that. But I kind of want to confirm that first.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. When you get the flyer, I'll reshoot that one out on social medias if you're doing it, and I'll make arrangements mid-March. I'll make arrangements that I could be there.
Okay, awesome.
All right,
awesome.
Come in, take some video, run a reel or two. I'll bring my field recorders so I could do quick on the spot interviews, and then we'll reshoot it out.
Awesome, sounds good, man.
No worries. Thanks, Josh. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks. Nice talking to you.
Keep hustling. Really quickly, I just want to thank everybody for listening. My name is Mark, your host. This has been Rude Business, the podcast to make our movements. I had a lot of fun talking with Josh from 3G Golf. You can find 3G in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, and all the relevant information is going to be in the description on the Maker Movements N.J. social media pages, locals. Everything's going to be there. Check the description, check the social medias. Thank you again. Until next time, be good, be safe. Thank you.